you could say, but it's not like a norm. It's not something that we've seen too much from him in the past, so I think this is going to be something to watch for.
Definitely going to be something we keep our eye on moving forward, but unfortunately in this round, there's not really a lot of conclusions to draw. Hey, he used the hot hands. That was pretty cool. So FPX, they lose a player right off the bat. Now we're looking at Xiao defending towards the B site, and he's in a bit of a troubled spot. I don't think Shadow's going to be able to get out there to help him unless someone walks into that smoke. Gives him an opportunity. Oh, he's going to try sneak through. He's hoping for the timing. He's almost ran right past them. In fact, they don't even notice that he's here. The fault that they still don't know. The flash comes in and Shadow's good for one. Another popped and an awkward fight. Not an easy kill at all. Coldamenta grabs himself that one, but with Mixwell being alone, well, he didn't really stand much of a chance, did he?
No, and that's actually something I wanted to highlight going into things. Like, we're sort of ranting and raving about Demasik because it is something we've basically never seen before. Like, if you look at on record, the agents he played, it is mostly Cypher, but there's a Reyna in the mix. He's been playing Raze a couple of times, but this is not an agent that we've seen out from him. So it's something to really get excited about. Shadow, however, on the Breach is something we've seen an awful lot in the history of FPX, and it is my favorite agent to watch him play. I think he's so good at playing the Breach, and with the buffs that have come in to make him a little bit more viable with a lot of his utility, the Flash is still being strong, even if there's not quite so many of them. I think he's going to be a force on his own.
Oh, definitely a force to be reckoned with. And I think if you just take a look at how things are shaping up right now for FPX in this series, they have the driver's seat. They're looking so strong. And here's that was such a good opportunity, man. If that flash doesn't go through, Demasik possibly gets his ultimate basically online at the very start of the game, which is dangerous coming into a bonus round. But with him going down, that's a very valuable kill for G2. In fact, another goes their way, and now they've got full control over spawn. But not their spawn, the other one. Oh, that's such a disgusting skin, Xiao, but I'm sure a couple disgusting shots are on the way. The Ares good for 2. Barely even able to identify that weapon when it's got the minimum skin on. Let's see if he can get another here. Kellog's going to be tagged up. Oh, the temptation to spam. There. Well, we saw Zipman's coming up behind. He's on his way through main, and he hasn't got a teammate anymore, Tom.
Yeah, the problem is as well, that's given the Blade Storm over to Kellogg, so he has a real chance of actually stealing this round away. He's done so much damage individually, but Zipan still on basically full HP. The problem, though, is I believe he only has a pistol, so he basically has to hit the instant shot, but it could just be the timing that's everything. A couple of knives going through, but not quite connecting. Another missed, and it's back to the SMG, leaving Kellogg's on just 26 HP, but he gets it with the last knife! Oh, that's unreal.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous scenes. He actually goes out for with the knife in hand, confident in the one tap. And that's 1-1. G2 have tied up the round, and I can barely process how that's happened. I mean, Kellogg's is how that's happened, and this guy looked so phenomenal on the previous map in some of the rounds. We saw that aggressive B play that came through where he managed to pick off 2. Even though the game wasn't going G2's way, he still didn't really let off the gas in some of these plays. When it was set up for him to play aggro, he went and he did it. And right here, well, it's paying off having that little bit of confidence at his back.
Oh, no. Xiao's just like, guys, I'm ready to dart now. Please stop shooting me through the wall. I think he knows that there's someone on the other side, Mitch. Like, I think he might have a decent idea.
That's his own weapon as well. You know, he brought it up in the previous round. He got his little 2K, and now he almost dies to it. Kellogg's, I'm surprised he's... God, it looks so ugly, man. It looks so ugly. Every time I see this skin, it breaks my mind again. Apologies to the designer who made it. I'm sure that was what you were asked to make.
Someone bought it.
Hey, someone did, and someone's using it for a couple of kills. That was such a play. Oh my god. The flash comes out and Kellogg's response is, sure, I've got an Ares. So that's a shotgun, right?
I don't think I've ever seen anyone dash with an Ares before. We're seeing a lot of new things today, Mitch. I'm excited for that one. What?
Last player standing.
They shouldn't have got that kill.
You cannot
They
see,
definitely shouldn't have got that
Angel.
kill.
That's not how this works. And Shadow, okay, is the gun going to get picked up? No, it's not. There's a rifle on Cold Mentor. I don't think he's going to be trading that one away. So the Ares is at least gone, and we should be getting FPX now back on a slightly better purchase than the last round.
How does he even get this? He misses the first two.
Last player standing.
Wow. I mean, that looks like a little bit of spray and pray. And it's come through for him. But 2-1 at this point. G2, they should not be where they are. They really shouldn't. FPX had the pistol. They looked good. Kellogg's won them out round number 2 by getting that ult on so early. And now G2 have got the lead. This is where FPX want to fight back for it. The deep shock dart right off the bat. Another one's going to be coming through. This time, not really going to hit the mark, actually. Doesn't catch anyone.
I've got your trail.
That's already the dash gone. We're going to see the Seekers expended as well. That would give at least a little bit of extra information. There's 3 players on their site, so they are pushing into what is a majority stack, but Angel, I think maybe he thought he was a little bit more covered off than he was, so being picked off early, Shadow at the back in a problematic scenario. Now the Shadow's fallen as well. It will leave him alone, but we know what this man can achieve. The Wolf going to be coming through, and it dives just as he pushes, and that will be over to trade things out.
Nukia is caught in the corner, though. They can definitely isolate him. Dimisic doesn't have hot hands online, but Nukia gets dropped anyways. Now that's a weapon to be retrieved. Dimisic getting that little bit of an upgrade. Doesn't have any flashes either with the wall. Will that come into play? And it looks like it's just aim duels, and there's the first going his way. Ultimate online, it's going to be popped, and they're going to commit to it. Mixwell pops the flash, swings out wide, but Dimisic deals with him. He'll even get it halfway for his teammate. What a nice guy.
I'm a little bit disappointed, I'll be honest. Like, G2 barely even did any damage when it came down to that retake. They were just isolated one by one. Sure, I think the player close to the wall maybe thought he was a little bit further in cover than he actually was, but that looked too easy, is what I want to say. Like, FPX just went, 1-1-1, nice easy cleanup, and then obviously the ultimate at the end. I don't think Mixwell really stood a chance at a player with nothing to lose, so it's probably not what they would have wanted to see coming through. What was a 2v3 retake from FPX?
You know what? A very good point, and a very valid one, certainly, as we even look at him right now, is that over on Twitter, Boss Steven has made the point that the reason that FPX won was because Shadow has changed his crosshair. And you know what? I'm behind that. He's gotten rid of that absolute disgrace, presumably because enough people messaged him and said, what is wrong with you? Oh, this push through market, it's dangerous. When Dimisic's here, ready to swing, already caught the first, and now they are completely... Whoops. Oh, that was close. Kellogg's almost gets taken down. Nukia falls to the Hunter's Fury. Xiao getting so much value for that ulti. And this push is, I mean, it's been stopped before it can even start.
Last player standing.
I thought for a moment that was going to be a kill for Mixwell. Kellogg's, he's got the spike back, but that's about the only positive, and they know exactly where he is as well. Flawless round from FPX. A little bit invested into that one for G2, so it's definitely not going to be ideal. I do wonder, though, if Shadow's doing that as if it's like... You know when people train with, like, they wear weights? So that's just his, like, okay, if I play with a shockingly bad crosshair, when I go back to a good crosshair, I'll be even better. It's actually just big brain plays from Shadow.
It could well be. This is it. We need to see people playing group stages on, like, you know, those crosshairs that just cover, like, they split your whole screen into 4. Like you're playing Mario Kart with 3 friends. You need to see that on the group stage, and then you go back to a normal one, you're a god. That's the Shadow theory. You have Bogdan's Law, but now we've got Shadow's Law. Wait, that means we've got to look at a lot of horrible crosshairs. Never mind. I rescind the point.
I take it back. I didn't mean it. Please. I apologize. We've already seen a few others as well in the Vitality camp. Loving some chunky boys, but hey, if it works for them, I guess I can suffer through looking at it. Now, that is not the start that Mixwell was wanting. I am liking as well that this basically just frees up Dimisic to be far more aggressive than he normally is. Like with the Cypher, he's normally that man to lock down the site. It seems like they put that on Shadow instead. And with, as said, I'm a big fan of how he uses all of his utility, so I don't doubt that he can play that role. It just means that Dimisic can almost go back to those CIS roots and just go, oh, you want me to frag? Ah, easy.
I don't think Shadow can really peek here, right? They're playing off his Hunter's Fury. They've spotted a bunch of players. Now he's got an extra... He's just swinging on it. And that's the problem. Because now what do you have to get you back on site? So Angel did make it into the back, obviously. But at this stage, you know, that's another isolated player. They've got to rush in. And luckily, in those blind rushes, they don't get punished. FPX managed to get the round on the board. And, oh, they also saved the Rolling Thunder, which could be huge.
Yeah, Zipan does not see box.jpg, so just decides to shoot straight through it. But yeah, really nice retake. I do like how they utilize the From the Shadows. I think that it's one of those ultimates that most of the time you're just going to see teams use it either for information or for rotations. And that's why they can leave this site almost open. Like, your opponents are going to find out, okay, there's not really anybody here. And then Angel just teleports straight to the back of the site, and you now have to face off against another player while the others rotate in. Now, of course, as said, it was a weaker buy coming in from G2. So that ultimate is one that it's not really going to play a big part in most rounds, so you might as well use it to make sure that you're not giving away any silly rounds to G2, who are a team who can definitely take them. Like, we've already seen them win the second round based off some individual brilliance from Kellogg's alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason they've got 2 rounds on the board, isn't it? So at this stage, and you're looking at the spot G2 have put themselves into, it's not great being 4-2 down, but considering that realistically they should have been bombed out at this stage, it could potentially be looking at 6-0 with how the rounds have gone. They're going to be putting a lot of value in this round to buy them right back into the half. I'm curious when they have this many ultimates, because obviously Kellogg's, as you said, is better to have that ulti online, but a lot of these aren't ones that you can just pop off at any time. I mean, the Rez, Omen's ultimate as well. You're real, and I mean, even Hunter's Fury. These aren't things that you can use, like the run it back, like the Rolling Thunder. Yeah, well, you shouldn't. To really get the value out of them, they're situational, and well, you're not using that anymore. The Hunter's Fury's gone right off the bat because Coldament is out. It's really the Seekers, man. Like that's the main ultimate for me when you look at G2. And Mixwell hasn't got it online right now, so they don't have that helping hand. And Angel's still here. Okay. He's gone out aggressive on a different angle. He's fighting for mid from all over the map with that operator. I thought for a second they were going to try and challenge him because Shadow's actually just lurking in the corner. Instead, he knows that control hasn't been taken. Kellogg's is sneaking his way through, but he'll get caught by Sick. Everything just going the way of FPX at the moment. G2 really struggling for any sort of control. Of over a Mixer, yeah, basically just comes down to, hey, let's farm up a couple of ultimate points. Let's try and make this one a little bit costly because they got 35 seconds now to take a site with 3 players on it.
Last player standing.
Not exactly easy, and Dimisic makes it that little bit more difficult. Mixwell on 11 HP, the flash, but it's all for nothing. There we go. Okay, I got a little bit scared, I'm not gonna lie. 5 on the board for FPX, and okay, Seekers are online. In fact, all 5 ultimates are there for G2, but at the same time, when you look at FPX, they've got a bunch to work with, and just on round-to-round play, they've been looking far better. This is G2's map pick. They got completely locked out of Icebox, and a loss here will put an end to their upper bracket run completely.
This is the day of, like, IGL operator players. Like we even saw on Breeze earlier, Boaster picking up a cheeky operator to try and do a bit of damage. Now we've got Angel primary upping on a different map. Like, you know, I'm liking it. The older guy, I suppose Boaster, I can't really call him an older guy when he's younger than me, but that's not the point. We're gonna have the push coming through. Kellogg's, he is leading the charge, and Coldament is actually already going to get rid of Zipan. You can see some utility being put into play to try and deny these aggressive pushes. Kellogg's, though, he's even expected, but he still hits the headshot and gets rid of Shao. All right.
Bit ridiculous on that one. I don't think this is going to be swinging the way of FPX at this stage. And Dimisic, although he has the run it back, well, he's going to think twice before using that one. The pistols, they've got some power. They're not going for this, are they? I see Angel start to move back towards the site. You got 5 HP, mate. He's still going. He's still going. What is he?
Does he want to get his
absolute madman?
No, they're actually just going
for paranoia. They're actually sending it in. Oh my god. What? That was interesting.
I think they do have a ridiculous amount of cash, but that still just seems like a waste. Like, keep the weapons
They've
through.
given weapons over.
Also, just, yeah, you've given them over, although I'm not sure if they managed to retrieve everything. This, though, like, just about dodging the flash, and then just see you later. Like, big plays coming out from Kellogg's. He basically just stumped their whole rotation, and the rest of his team manages to just lock down the site. Now, as said, there's still going to be plenty of money for FPX to buy, so evidently, I guess they just wanted to make things a little bit more costly. They still have the majority of their ultimates online as well, and I think far more impactful ones than what's on the other side. Even still, though, G2, again, it's the pistol ultimate force fire rounds that seem to be working for them. Oh, no.
Shao, my man, coming out with the Odin.
No.
That's what I like to see. That's not what I like to see, though. Mixwell creeps his way up through short, and there's the kill, the cancellation of Dimasic Salt, followed by the execution, but Shadow is here to trade it back. He's keeping it into even numbers and looking for even more. Luckily, that flash caught him, but I see him posturing the Rolling Thunder, and in it comes a Kellogg's! He's actually gotten him! How has he gotten away with that? The round seems to be going their way. Shadow, the final remaining player to turn this one in to an FPX win. Avova making a sneaky play inside the smoke. Hasn't been detected. Shadow has to clear absolutely everything, and Avova knows exactly where he is. The spike is tapped. The smoke dissipates, and Avova, oh, I like the little fake flash going out. He's just playing cat and mouse, running down the clock and finishing him off. What an insane shot from Kellogg's, though. I don't know if we have a replay of that, but I'll pay big bucks to see one. That was gorgeous.
So you always look at this team and you go, okay, but realistically, who's going to be good enough to actually replace Mixwell on the Jet? Because let's be honest, he was still performing.
How?
It's this guy. It's this guy. Like, what is that shot? Only had a single bullet to do it as well. Wouldn't have had a second chance because he was hit by a Rolling Thunder and was falling through the air. But he makes it work. And FPX, well, we have a pause, and yeah, no doubt it's going to be coming in for them. They still have enough money to buy into this one. The credits are available. Angel even has 7,100 going into this round, so they're going to have absolutely no troubles whatsoever. But it's more so like, okay, how can we sort of stump this a little bit more? Because we're starting to lose rounds almost just based off individual brilliance. Like, I don't realistically think they did too much wrong, maybe other than the Dimasic ult. I think that the placement of that seemed a little bit suspect.
I'm gonna be trying that in all my ranked games now. You know, you see Breach get a little bit more love recently. Hit by the Rolling Thunders, we swinging people trying to one tap them, and I guarantee it's never gonna work. I don't understand what I've witnessed from Kellogg's, but I like it still. When we come to this point, G2, they've got back in. Their hands on the steering wheel for a little bit. FPX still have that lead, though. And with how things have been going so far, you know, a lot of things went G2's way in the previous round. There were a lot of slip-ups from FPX, and it still came super, super close. Now we're still in a bye round. We need to see G2 do it again. Oh Dimasic. This mid control has just been sick from FPX. Whether it's Angel with the operator or Dimasic just not giving a damn. G2 just don't seem to have a response.
Yeah, there was something that Ryan said on the desk, like, why have we not seen this before? And I'm starting to ask a question of why we haven't seen Dimasic on the Phoenix before. Because the freedom he's been given just seems to be lighting up the server. Nuki, though, has been able to pick one off. He's going to continue to push. Hit by a Paranoia up on short, as he's being almost just battled with the remaining players, and that's because they want to get the res off. It looks like that was a direct counter. Now they're going to go running into this B side, maybe expecting that there's a couple of players on the other side, and Shadow, he's actually already going to be lost. It leaves Shadow alone, but I don't think they expected him to be there. Luckily, there's a quick trade from Nuki, which gives them a chance.
30 seconds
Nuki
left.
is rolling the dice on this one, playing up close. A Phoenix about to flash through. He's blinded, but he's got the angle, only for the one kill. Coldamenta back sight with the Odin, looking to return some of that favor that Shao gave him earlier, but it ain't gonna happen. Angel with the one tap to bring them into the lead even further. 6-4 now on the board. That was a really good attempt by G2, though. They get that sight in the 1-for-1 trade. If they even get one more kill on Nukia there, and it was possible for them to just blitz out onto the site without getting that trade, you could have seen that swing G2's way.
I think the other thing as well is if just at this point, they need to be shutting down Demasik a little bit easier. Like, that is ridiculous now that he's just been able to straight peek into mid, find 2 kills, and then it's like, oh, it's okay, guys, we'll just bring him back again. Like, he is having an unbelievable performance individually, but you have to start taking a look at G2 and going, okay, if this man's just flashing out short every round, how are you not shutting this down? There you go.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous at this point, and it's Demasik taken down. It's not even the mid peak, but instead trying to sneak his way into wine. The wall broken, the slow already bypassed, and Kellogg's, he's looking for more. Already got a 2nd kill in the round, and this is a low buy from G2 with a sheriff in his hand. He has overrun the A site single-handedly. This Kellogg's guy, man, we knew he was solid. We've talked about him before, but geez, he's just on fire today.
Oh, let's see what FPX can do. We know they like to go for these retakes, and it's already going pretty damn well. 2 kills coming up. Mixol is going to be able to get the trade. That's a rifle found at least, but Xiao, he's just doing this on the Odin. He cleans it up alongside Shadow. A solid take, some fantastic entries, but the retake from FPX is even better.
Glorious stuff there. Look, at the end of the day, you look at this round and think G2 had pistols. And they managed to overrun the site and bring it down to 2 players alive. In general, that's great. But it's great because it chips away at the economy of your opponents. And in this case, that doesn't really matter. It's the final round, and they'll be able to invest, I'm pretty sure, fully, without a care. It would be more the implication of, the round after. Wow. He just makes it look so easy, doesn't he? I also love the fact, just a quick sidebar, of the fact that we have Koldamenta and Xiao, both Sova players who regularly use the Odin. Because Koldamenta, he showed us some nasty stuff last time. Attack side Haven. Not something you see every day. Angel has just ran down middle for 2 kills. He started this one out with full control. And G2, they're at a 2-man disadvantage. The res is gone as well. That's massive.
Yeah, Angel's just teleported straight into the site, and now, whoa, with the walk back in, Avova at least knows he's there, but that's not really going to mean anything. The spam from Zipan leaves 1 man standing, and while Avova, literal seconds ago, used his From the Shadows to try and sneak his way into the back of site, into the boathouse, and unfortunately, he now has very little to play with. The paranoia might be able to do something. A nice shot at least onto Demasik, but he is stunned as he tries to make his way through. 68 HP, 4 players to find. I think we're looking at an 8-4.
Yeah, you know what, Tom? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to swing your way as well, especially because it looks like FPX are going to barrel onto this one together. You've got the Odin spam and the double peek up top. There was no way out of there for Avova. The defuse assured to come through, and FPX will hit 8 at the halftime. This is a strong position to play from.
Yeah, I think the thing I'm loving about this half especially is it almost looks like... It looks like a different almost style from FPX at times. Like, they freed up some of the players to just have these individual plays, like we saw, like, more towards the Party Pirates era, where they were like, okay, we've got the individual skill to battle up versus a lot of these teams, we're just going to take ridiculous amounts of map control. I can think of 3, maybe 4 rounds where there was a player individually just pushing into mid and battling versus G2. Sure, there were smokes down, sure, there were positions to make the battles more awkward for G2, but it still came down to relying on Demasik or Angel to just hit these crazy shots, and they did more times than they didn't. It gives them 8 rounds on the defensive half on G2's map choice, and potentially puts G2 ever closer to being in that lower bracket.
Which is a crazy thought. You know, when we came in, honestly, my narrative was leaning more towards G2.
Yeah.
Accepting the fact that they have looked incredible so far. They have some of the best players in the world. And the fact that, obviously, when you look at FPX recently, they've been a little bit shaky. It didn't seem like this was going to be an assured FPX win by any means. And in fact, if it was a win, I was thinking 3 maps super close all the way. Instead, FPX have come out with a fire lit underneath them. They've picked out new agents, new comms completely. They're playing no Sentinel. And yes, you know, we're not considering the Sage a Sentinel on this one. It's bizarre. It really is. And not a day G2 are going to be happy with by any means, I'm sure.
Well, now this is something that looks a little bit more familiar. The Zipan push into middle is normally so deadly, and he's got Demasik alongside him. This time, Nuki, he's only on 38 HP. Even getting one there would have been an absolute miracle. And this split through mid, this is the classic. This is what we've seen from FPX so many times before. Kellogg's trying to hold the line. Avova at least getting one, but on just 20 HP. What can he really hope to achieve? He needs Coordinator to go huge. He gets nothing.
That hurt me on Mixwell, honestly. It just like he sat there, you know, he's just screaming, oh, what a timing. As soon as he puts down that Tiger, as soon as it goes around the corner, 3 players are swinging on him. Couldn't have been worse. Really couldn't. You hate it, Tom, right? When you pop one of the, like a drone, you know, I don't play Sky, but more often, you know, you pop that drone, you go around the corner and you're like, oh, they're just standing there. Oh God. And you get taken down. It sucks.
Yeah, that happens a little bit too often to me, but we're gonna move on from that because it makes me quite unhappy. But here we go.
It's either that, Tom, or you're like you're sat on the B side, you pop your drone, and the other guy's bought a node, and he just comes in with a wall bang straight off the bat. Those they always get me.
For God's sake, Demasik. As said, he has been given the freedom to play this Phoenix for this map. Angel's given him the nod, and, well, I think he's made a real case for it in this game. If anything, I'm not sure I want to see him go back to the Cypher. Nuki, though, has other ideas. Quick headshot to drop him. Bear in mind, we did see a pistol victory. Well, actually, most of the victories so far have been pistol victories for G2. So we've seen a fair few pistol victories for this side. Can they convert another? Because they need
the whole collection. For God's sake, man. What are you doing, Xiao?
I think Zipan has 1 or 2 as well. Didn't he have the pistol? Or maybe he was given that by Xiao. Like, who knows? Maybe
Xiao dropped it to him. Yeah.
He's like, take a look at this. And he's like, oh, why?
I don't want it anymore. I'll play Classic. It's fine. Avova, he's got a nice little fight for himself here, but as he tucks away, Shadow's quick to trade. They've got the site, but they can't really plant just yet. You gotta have those reinforcements come through. But Xiao, the timing for Xiao. Mixwell, this guy's just getting wrecked on timing every single round, it seems. She has no chance. Nuki and Kellogg's the last remaining players, but I don't want to count Kellogg's out of it for 1 second, and that's exactly why. Such a quick shot, man. What does this guy eat for breakfast?
Nuki, he's going to at least break himself the door, get a little bit closer onto the site, start this 1v2 with at least the first kill. And although it's a very costly round, I believe that was actually a fair amount invested, or at least it seemed to be, by G2. Like, we saw some SMGs, I think Avova having himself a Spectre. I don't think that was an eco round coming out from G2, so they really are on the back foot now with likely another weaker purchase coming into this round.
So I'm gonna be honest with you right now. You know, every other time that I've cast G2 FPX, and there were a lot of them, it was high intensity. It was always so rich in story, and I was so excited, man, when I saw this game on the schedule. I was pumped to see that rematch from way back when, to see G2, the team that had been undefeated for so long, with the exception of a very exceptional series the first time they played FPX. And I'm gonna be honest, man, I've been let down. There's been a couple of good plays, but it's certainly like G2 ain't matching up to what we thought of them. Right here, now, yeah, FPX are performing incredibly well, but G2 looked lost. And I could say it was because it was FPX's map pick the first time round, but here on Ascent, they're just being picked apart. Now, this round, obviously not a good example of it because they've only got pistols, but maybe the best example would be it's 11-4, and they've won most of the rounds with pistols in their hands.
I think the only thing that really worries me about this game is that the Plat Chat guys are going to be on the live support again with the Hopium for FPX, because they look incredible. Like, they have just come in today, they've changed a load of different things, they've thrown in a few curveballs with the agent selection, Xiao coming in on a jet, they've thrown in a Demasic Phoenix, and they've all looked amazing. And I went in today going like, okay, I think that they'll be like a top 4 team, but I think they'll be at the lower end of that top 4. Now I'm right back in the mix of like, are FPX just going to win? Like, are they just going to come through an EU when the pressure is off, double elimination, it's not for challenge or not for qualification to a Masters, so they're just going to perform the best we've seen them once again, and then are we going to be let down? Because they look unreal. Like, this game, I don't think they've broken too much of a sweat. As I said, most of the rounds they've lost are just to Kellogg's hitting some crazy shots with the pistols or close clutch rounds. Other than that, it's been clean, finding openers everywhere they want, setting up Demasic to just run riot. And again, he's going in with the ultimate, just looking for that first pick. And Kellogg's can't really do anything here. Mixel's got to be careful.
Okay, he's managed to shut down Demasic, at least gain over control of the A site. The plant gonna come in from FPX. Oh, shock dart right onto Kellogg's, man. Right on the head, and Shadow is just waiting to pop this rolling thunder. Here they come blitzing through the wall. The Paranoia, a good counter. The flash is in right away, but Nukia wasn't caught by it. This is a good response by G2. Angel lined them up and almost took Kellogg's down. Luckily, he'd already been healed up. And at this stage, it looks done, surely. The flash to come around the corner, another to follow suit, and here's the big peak, the big challenge, and Dimasic's away with 3. How has this ended up in this position? The spike still needs to be defused. Mixwell luckily rushes him down and leaves Xiao all by himself, and somehow he ends up winning it. They've actually gotten away with that round, putting 12 on the board, and G2, it feels like they're just running headfirst into a brick wall. There is no way to move past this 4th round. FPX have come back in a dominant fashion in what was a match of the ages, a match that we always asked the question, we always pondered, will FPX finally beat G2?
This was a 5-on-2. One of the players in the 5-on-2 didn't have a gun. He had a classic. He had a classic, Mitch.
Angel is going to be very happy to end this rivalry like this, to finally get the chance. Okay, it might not be the Ignition Series flawlessly winning team, but you'll take what you can get these days. And arguably, this is a better look to the team, but FPX, they're just too strong right now. And coming into what could be the final round, there's not a lot to work with here. That flash was so good. Completely discounted the Blade Storm that came through. And well, G2, they couldn't win a 5v2, and they got a 3v4.
See, I've seen a lot of things to make me think that, like, a lot of Breach's utility is just weaker because people can still get kills while using it. And then Shadow has come in this series, and, like, he's been keeping up with Demasic, who's just been running around headshotting everyone. This has been a performance and a half from FPX. We talk about statements. This might be one of the biggest statements we've seen in a long, long time. FPX are back on the board. They have absolutely